about subtracting integers. Building off what we just did. So in your notes, we're going to start off with a vocab term that's very important for us in terms of subtraction, because we're going to use this concept throughout this section, and that is of additive inverses. And you can see your definition, numbers that, when added together, have a sum of 0. So let's get that down in your notes. We talked about inverses a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about inverses being like opposites of one another. So when we talk about two numbers that are additive inverses, that means we're essentially adding opposites together. And when we add opposites together, the result is going to be 0. You can see, think about 4 plus a negative 4, 5 plus a negative 5. Any of those numbers that you can add to itself, or add to its opposite rather, it will be 0. So be aware of that term, because it's going to come up a lot. All right, just like yesterday. You're going to try a couple. So go ahead and try these two subtraction problems. This is going to help us create a rule. Number 1, what did you get when you take 4 and subtract 8 from it? Justin. -4. How about number 2? You take -5 and you subtract 2 from it. Aubrey? -7. So if you were successful on both of those, you obviously have something that's working for you. So, like yesterday, write it down. Write your strategy down in the lines below. And then I want you to share with someone around you what you have. Let's see how close your descriptions are. Okay, let's talk about strategies. Who would like to describe your methods to us? And you can use one of these two. You can use these examples to help guide your description of what you do, if that's going to help. Okay? All right, Amelie, go ahead. Okay, so that would be, are you talking like on this problem here? Okay, take us through what you would do then on this. So you would keep the sign of whichever one had a larger absolute value, in this case negative. Did anyone say something like that as their description? A couple of you have something like that, okay? All right, what else? Or maybe it's a different way of saying something like that. Aubrey? Say that one more time. Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Because you're taking away more than what you have, right? So you know it's going to be negative. How many of you thought of number 1 like Aubrey just described? Kind of like an 8 minus 4, but you know it has to be a negative because you're taking away more than you have. Good. Okay. Did anybody else, or did anyone for that matter, look at both or either of these as an addition problem? And I know Amelie did, because the way she described it was like an addition problem. Did anybody else look at it like that? Okay. because that's the way that I'm going to show you. A method I'm going to give you right now is based around addition. And we just did that exercise, and we did those 10 questions, and I passed around a calculator, and the results came back with a 93% success rate, which tells me that you guys know how to add two integers together. So if we could somehow transform a subtraction problem into an addition problem, then I would like your chances of getting these right. Okay? So the rule, and this might look familiar to you, instead of making this subtraction, I'm actually going to make it addition. I'm going to turn this into 4 and now plus, but it's not 4 plus 8, of course, because 4 minus 8 isn't the same thing as 4 plus 8. I have to make another change. If I change that subtraction to addition, what could I do to balance out that change, almost like an inverse thing, to cancel it out? Justin? Make it a negative 8. Exactly. And you did problems like this just recently on that little practice set I gave you, and you got them right. So let's look at the other one. Negative 5 minus 2. If I make this negative 5 plus, what else do I have to do? If you change subtraction to addition, you can't just do one thing. Andrew? Make the 2 a negative. Negative 5 plus negative 2 is negative 7. So I'm going to summarize this rule with 3 words. First step. Add the, anybody know what that third word is? You change it to addition, and what do you do to this next term? Dom? Well, not always. If it was negative, it's opposite. Yeah, if it was negative, it would become positive. So the rule is add the opposite. Now I know you're like, well, what's step 2? Step 2 really doesn't even need to go here, but I'll put follow addition rules. Which simply means we spent yesterday doing the rules of addition, and you did very well with those. So once you've converted this into an addition problem, just go back to those rules that we wrote yesterday. Right? And I'm not telling you that your rule or your method that got you those first 2 answers, if it doesn't sound like what I did here, that's okay. Just keep getting the right answer. We'll be fine. But let's practice the add the opposite rule right now. Even if you don't know that you want to use it, just since these are your notes, let's practice this. So in number 1 in this table, it says 8 minus 12. I want to rewrite that as an addition problem. So could anyone help me write 8 minus 12 as its equivalent addition problem? Ella. Good. 8 plus a negative 12. Because this 12 right now is actually a positive 12. But when we changed it to its opposite, that's why it became negative. What is 8 plus a negative 12, Ella? Negative 4. Okay? Yes, Lou? Yeah, you can. We'll finish this up and then we'll be done. Number 2, somebody tell me what this problem looks like as an addition problem. Go ahead, Victor. Well, that's what it says already. I want to make it an addition problem. Good. And what's that equal? All right. How about number 3? Misty. Good. What's that equal, Misty? All right. Number 4. Convert this to addition. Go ahead, Dave. You mean, we're on number 4. Number 4, what'd you say? Thought I was hearing things. No. And it's not going to be negative 11. It's still going to be 11. We don't touch the first number. That stays. What was the second part, though, David? Well, it's already minus a negative 12, and if we're adding the opposite, what's the opposite of negative 12? Just 12. This problem, believe it or not, just turns into 11 plus 12. When you subtract the negative, it's the equivalent of adding a positive. So then that's obviously 23. All right, this next one has 3 integers or 2 subtractions, so you can change both. Go ahead, Andrew. Good. The minus becomes a plus, a negative 4, take its opposite, plus, and then the opposite of negative 9 is a positive 9. And what would that be, Andrew? These cancel, right? There's 0. So tonight when you're doing your subtraction problems, I'm not going to tell you you have to, but I really highly recommend you try to incorporate the add the opposite rule. It's going to simplify things for you a lot.